We have the blue Elven player ROTWK versus the red Dwarven player Mustafa. I do elves because I train. Okay, so elves is pretty good matchup, you know, pretty good faction, pretty solid faction. You can't really mess it up big time. You gotta play a bit smart with the archer spam, and then you can eventually win every single fight. But yeah, I mean, again, the patch 2.02 version 9.00 beta what we are using for this casting has actually lots of impactful changes. Some of them are being quite impactful when it comes to early game stages. For example, the buff, the more squishy buildings, which can actually favor the Elven faction more, because let's be real, Dwarven faction has no trouble taking on the buildings anyway. But Elves can actually have it, especially early game, with the Lothian warriors. He's gonna start with pikemen, and I'm assuming he wanna try to creep. For me personally, when you play Elves, you should be trying to creep this one in the middle, you know? It's quite beneficial, you get lots of money from it, and also you open like the full mid area, which means you can actually clump a big army in the middle of the map and just kind of sit there, you know what I'm saying? Okay, the pikemen are moving downstairs, you know, to the Warclay, I'm assuming. He's gonna go for the second pikeman. Okay, that's very interesting opening. In the meantime, archer range opening. Also something we don't see very often. I mean, we see that quite often against goblins, for example, or even against Mordor, but not against elves. Which is pretty random to me. I think elf hero is stronger than Engma. Maybe. Okay, easy creeping, no problemo. Creeping a Warclay with the pikeman is quite easy. And he will go also to the top side. I mean, it's pretty good for me, ROTWK, because he's not gonna get attacked anytime soon. As the Dwarven player Mustafa actually opened with the archer range, it means he has like not enough DPS to go for the big push. And on the map Westfold, most of the time people are actually kind of, you know, creeping early game instead of going for the harassment. But, you know, map Westfold can actually be good for Dwarven faction too, because it offers lots of freedom and space. So basically you can eventually hide your mineshafts in a very offensive spot and attack non-stop. The creep is going to be uncontested, but the builder might be actually able to steal the money. Remember, the Dwarven builder, in compared to all the other builders in the game, offers you a little bit more vision control. Okay, he's creeping actually quite fast too. Like, he was able to creep this one at the bottom right, now this one at the bottom left, and this one at the top right. While Mustafa was only able to get one single creep. The pikemen are getting bullied, they don't stand a chance against extroverts, they have to peel back. The creep uncontested once again, and we have only the creep in the middle of the map left, on the map Westfold. He has one guardian and one extrovert inside the mineshaft. Hey David, welcome. Okay, so what's the plan? We might see a stable very soon, we might see early hero action, but again, I kept, you know, I was mentioning it before, we are on a beta version, which means the rallying call buff and also the leadership part got kind of nerfed, you know? So leadership and rallying call, you can't get that strong anymore. So even when you go for higher early game, it's a little bit weaker than in the version 8.5, so I want to actually see how it's kind of playing off on a map like Westfold between elves and dwarves. Banana King Beta, welcome my friend, glad to see you around. Okay. I mean, 2v1 situation, the Lothian warriors, they should be getting killed. Guardians are getting bullied, and that's gonna be the first offensive mineshaft from Mustafa. He's also trying to creep the troll lair in the middle of the map. He was able to kill the troll. Now he will go to the lair, which I believe is gonna be kinda uncontested. Maybe you can try to steal the money. Yeah. Hold on a second, I wanna see this. Okay, smart move. They're faster than this Dwarven pikeman. Lucky drop for ROTWK. I mean, they split the money 50-50, but it's better than nothing, I guess. Okay. The mineshaft was able to get saved. And extroverts are actually kind of dealing great amount of damage to the Lothian archers. The problem is though, that archers are outranging them big time, so they can shoot them down before they can ever get the chance to shoot back. Hey man, love your content. Is there a easy access to this game, some kind of launcher or something, or do you still need to do it the old way with YouTube tutorials over 30 minutes? Unfortunately, you need to still do it with the tutorials, either video tutorials or text tutorials. In the BFME 1, we have a launcher. In the Battle for Middle-earth 1, you can click on one button and you are set up. But BFME 2 and Rise of the Witch King, you need to still do it in an old school way. But maybe in the future, maybe in a few months, there might be a launcher too for both the games, BFME 2 and Rise of the Witch King, in which you can click one single button and you are all set. But for now, as we are talking, you need to download manually. Eternal, welcome my friend. Okay, big push. Rallying call has been used. He might also build like a statue here in a well, okay? I mean, it's like an ideal situation. If you can camp here with the statue in a well, or a battle wagon with the banner, can do the same. And no pikeman for major effects, quite risky. And the battle wagon will have like the wet dream. What? What killed him? The Lancers killed him in a second or what? Okay, I mean, no pikeman for Mustafa either. He's gonna use heal, but he's gonna get trampled all the time. That's why you should always recruit some pikemen. You should never do that. Like Mustafa and Meshurovx, their games are always turning into a fiesta situation. Because both players, they kinda don't like to recruit pikemen, which are the best defensive unit in the game. Especially when you spam archers or extroverts, you need them to keep those units protected. The builder is trying to get in safety. He's gonna cancel the building. We have King Brian on the field. He's only level 1, needs level 2 for the slam shot. He's trying to defend the mineshaft, which is not defendable. He's gonna repair it too, but I think it's gonna delay, not gonna deny. Level 2 is unlocked. He's gonna eventually use the slap shot now. Do it on the Lancers here. They are clumped. It can... Boom! That's what I'm talking about. But he has heal on cooldown. And yeah, King Brian is kind of sloppy hero. Yeah, he's gone. The tower will eventually be taken down before it's built up to 100%, and the builder will be definitely in trouble right after that. I don't think he's in the range to build a wall hub. It means the builder is going to be taken down. Yeah, that's a big loss for Mustafa there. He lost everything, pretty much. And the only reason why he lost everything is because he didn't have any pikemen to protect the extrovers, The Lancers were MVPs. They kind of slaughtered the entire extrover army. We have also Glorfindel on the field, who is a very strong hero, even though he got nerfed multiple times, but he's still very strong. Mounted, on foot, quite fast with the Wind Rider. I think that he's the fastest cavalry hero in the entire game. And you also get crazy amount of armor boost when you are using it. Okay, 575 command points for dwarves and 650 for elves. We have Glorfindel as the first hero, which is kind of, random. For me personally, I was expecting Halgir, because leadership is still great, later on. And there is a level 2 mineshaft which is gonna be attacked from Glorfindel now. But keep in mind that you cannot use Blade of Purity when you are mounted. That's not possible anymore. And he's chunking it. I mean, the damage output is pretty good against a level 2 building, which has 2300 health. And once again, keep in mind that, the harassment, the poking is much more effective nowadays in the beta, because the buildings are squishier than they were before. Okay, rallying call has been used. We have Men of Steel on the field and only one pikeman to protect them. In the meantime, Alvin player is moving to the bottom side. He will be able to find and destroy the mineshaft at the bottom left. And Glorfindel is doing his thing. He's gonna get level 2 very, very soon. Level 3 unlocks the Blade of Purity. And we have King Brian back in the business. Level 3.5. The Malon 3 level 2. Protect them! Great micro from Meshurovx and very sloppy micro from Mustafa. He's making a big mistake over and over again. Kinda underestimating the damage output from those Lancers and keeping his Men of Steel and extroverts kinda unprotected most of the time. And once again, it's gonna happen. Like, it's a deja vu situation most of the time, It happens all the time. Alvin Wood is gonna be used. The level 2 Malon 3 has been even saved. And Alvin Wood is gonna lead you later on to the End Summon, which gives you like a siege potential. And you look at the power points from Meshurovx. He's already 7 power points collected after the Alvin Wood. It means he's only 8 power points away from summoning his giants, or in this case the Ents. and start sieging the fortress of the dwarves. Glorfindel, what are you doing? Oh, but Mustafa is so sloppy. He could have taken him down. I'm telling you, he could have taken him down. Like mounted heroes, they die in a second against pikes. Okay, we have a commitment here. Another level 2 mineshaft might be taken down. The battle wagon needs to be careful. Slapshot is going to be used on the lancers. Battle wagon is keeping the distance, has the Man of Deal upgrade on it, will keep shooting from a long distance. And once the pikemen are gone, there is no damage threat on the mineshaft. And look at the Man of Deal on the battle wagon. You know, they are kind of slaughtering them slowly but surely. And once the pikemen are dead, they can also commit for a trample potential. 8 power points versus 12. He didn't go for the 10 power point yet, which might be a Hobbit summon, for example. You can go for the Undermine, for example, or even Dwarven Riches, because he has picked the rebuild. Dwarven Riches can be quite good for a money boost on a mineshaft like this in the front, but it's more like a defensive and utility choice, and it will slow you down later on. I mean, having additional summon most of the time is a bit better, because you can get a little bit more damage output. And Dwarven Riches, yeah, I mean, it's not bad by all means. You know, it's kind of rewarding in long terms, but Hobbit summon, the increased damage output in an army is always great. Haldir is on the hunt. He's level 5 though. I mean, this dude is gonna also scale permanently, by the way. And he's a very good hero against elves at the first place. Like, he can counter eagles, and he can also counter the ants. Once the Beast Slayer arrow is available with level 7, he can one-shot one of the ants, and he can also one-shot one of the eagles, from 100 to 0. Blade of Purity, splash damage, bad spot, and level 4. Look at the damage output, dude. What the heck is that? The one-man army, Glorfindel, is popping off. The battle wagon is running for his life. Haldir is also on the field, shooting from a long distance. Haldir has no trouble to level up to level 5 for the leadership part. And remember, the Dwarven faction has no debuff until you get King Dane on the field and have the Mighty Rage unlocked and use it on the enemy unit. So leadership is always great. This dude is kind of in a bad spot. He might be placed in the tower because he's being hunted by this Glorfindel, who is getting chunked now by the pikemen. And Slapshot could be used to eventually kill him, but he's going to use the heal and get in safety. Man of Deal is going to be placed in the battle tower. Mustafa likes to abuse towers. There comes the Slapshot on the Lorien archers. Level 6 unlocked. Heal has been used to keep him healthy. And the Men of Deal inside the tower are slaughtering everything.
These are Urukai. Their armor is thick and their shields broad.
Look at the Men of Deal, boys. They are slaughtering everything. Like, ROTWK is kind of inting all his army now for no reason. General Kenobi. Hello there. There comes the end summon. The level 3 mineshaft is going to be the first target. He's going to heal it with the rebuild. King Brand is only level 6. He has no Beast Slayer arrow. And the pikemen are trying to make it to the end. But sometimes there is like an uncontrollable fear. So basically, if you want to try to take down the ants, your units are getting afraid and kind of scared. Which is very annoying if this happens to you. And he didn't even finish this for no reason. He was finishing this one, which is the smartest thing to do, because this one had the industry on it, the Dwarven Riches on it. But how you want to kill these ants? Maybe the black arrows? I mean, the fortress is going to be safe. And 11 power points in the bank for dwarves. And 5 power points for elves after the ants. So he's getting very close to the 25 power point power spike. With the flood, can be quite devastating. Look at this layout. So you pretty much flood here on the spot, and you can kill archer range, the mineshaft, and the Hall of Warriors at the same time. He went for level 2. I don't know. Like, I genuinely think that more people should try to pull it off. You know what I'm saying? When you're playing dwarves, you have such a great potential to take down a fortress in a few seconds, and you can wombo combo this with the Undermine special summon. So here's the power points for the Undermine, right? You buy the Siege Hammers, all you gotta do is get like 3 Guardians, that's all it needs. You buff them with the Rallying Call, and you summon Undermine here, for example, and you commit on the fortress. Trust me, you can take down the fortress in 3 seconds, literally. Okay, Elrond level 1, Glorfindel level 5, and also Haldir level 4. It's a hero party now for the elves. We are still missing Legolas and also Thranduil, and of course the daughter of Thranduil, not Thranduil, Elrond I mean, who's gonna be Arwen. Okay, the battle wagons are kind of putting pressure, but again, they will be shot in the face all the time by Haldir whenever he gets the chance to do that. Level 3 Mineshaft. Command point wise, we have 1000 command points for major effects and only 725 command points for Mustafa. Mustafa is kind of behind in the command points in power points department, which of course is a huge handicap. There comes the Men of Steel summon. Okay, I mean, Men of Steel is a very good summon because they can pretty much do everything what they want. The black arrows, they can chunk the heroes, and the flaming arrows can actually destroy buildings in a few seconds. But again, the problem here is that the Elven heroes are just too mobile and agile. They can just disengage whenever they want to. There comes a Demolisher. Hold on a second. That's interesting. I like that. I really do like that. That's a huge force, but there is another huge force with leadership from this dude, Elrond. They have double buff, and there is no debuff. But Slam Shot can be messing them up quite a lot. Nice, but actually not nice. He killed like 2 units. The Demolisher can trample too, by the way, if you don't know. You can run over them, but the pikemen are gonna kind of deal revenge damage to you. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Like, that's the thing what I was trying to mention in the Discord also, that in compared to Rangers, the Men of Steel are so much more useful in almost every single situation. They can chunk heroes in a second with the black arrows, and you can use it twice actually in one single rotation, maybe even 3 times. And then you have fire arrow to the buildings, and you know, you can also wipe out the units as well. He kills Haldir in a second with the black arrows. Glorfindel though causing problems. Another Demolisher is incoming. Level 7 unlocked. There comes the Hobbit summon from the Dwarven player. But Hobbits, they have no defense. They can be trampled down in a second. Hobbits countering definitely the heroes. So even Glorfindel has to watch out. Especially when the Blade of Purity is on cooldown. Thranduil is gonna be shot in the face. He's getting chunked. He's only level 1. He's a very squishy hero. The Demolisher is gonna get the chance to attack this level 3 Malon tree. It's already quite low. 1 shot is all it takes. And look at the pressure now. The Demolisher, being a tanky thing, has like 4000 HP. So you gotta hard counter that with the pikeman, otherwise it will smash you. And you can even deploy it, and you can even buy Mithril mail armor on it once you purchase it from the, you know, from the Forge Works. 15 power points in the bank for elves. He's 10 power points away from the 25. And dwarves are still kind of far away from the 25 because he went for the Hobbit summon as well. Look at the Demolisher damage, chunk. To be honest, also Entmoor is kind of super tanky building. 6000 HP is kind of nutty, you know? Like normally buildings, they need to be getting to level 3 to get 6000 HP. But Entmoor is just too tanky, but he destroyed it regardless with the Demolisher. That means no ends anytime soon. Okay, I mean this dude is gonna get strong by the way. He's level 6 and every single level matters. Level 10 is a huge power spike, the Starlight. There is one end which will be slaughtered by the Men of Steel on the battle wagon. I mean Glorfindel is gonna be tanky now. The units, they need to use the black arrows. Very important. Look, the splash damage you see? Like he almost one-shot 2 of them at the same time. The battle wagons. And the problem with the Dwarven faction is of course you cannot really run for your life. Because the Elven heroes are gonna always catch up to you. You can't get away from them, you know? That's not possible. You have catapults on the field now. That's a great counter unit, by the way, against elves. Especially the Dwarven catapult. Once you get the flaming shot on them, holy guacamole, you know? Elrond is gonna manage to get into the back line though. There is not enough units to bully him. You need pikemen to keep this protected. Elrond was able to destroy it, no problemo. Okay, I mean the good thing is that with the restoration you can reset every single ability too, right? No pikemen for Measure of X2. Oh, but Elrond is popping off. Glorfindel is popping off. I mean the hero party is very strong. And that's level 2 Mineshaft, which will be destroyed definitely in a bit from this dude. It's gonna get level 7 after that. And this guy is also kind of doing a good job, but let's be real, what can King Brain do against such a reckless hate? Like, you have to deal with Glorfindel, you have to deal with Elrond, with Haldir, Now with Legolas 2, like you can't. The only hero who could eventually do that is Gimli, and you need to get him to level 5. He has Gimli on the field now, that's good, and Gimli level 5 can slaughter every single elven hero. With the Slayer, you can run them down, they cannot get away. I mean, Glorfindel can when he's mounted, but that's the only hero. Haldir, Thranduil, Legolas, they will all die in a few seconds. 14 power points in the bank, and elves went for the Eagle special summon. Look at this Man of Steel, they are getting kind of blown up. Eagles are waitable. I think he's gonna wait for the ends at this point. Nah, he's not gonna wait for it. Where is King Brand? King Brand can one-shot one of them with the Beast Slayer arrow, by the way, easily. I mean, this guy needs to be level 2 for the leap attack. The Eagles, they're gonna get some damage from the level 3 mineshaft. And Gimli is kind of getting damage a lot. It's a mistake to use it on Thranduil. I think you should be using it on the units to get to level 2. Yeah. And Mustafa doesn't say a word. He's gonna leave the game, and that's the game number 1, boys. Belfala's Abyss. The underwater map. Okay, we have the blue elven player Measure-of-X versus the red Man of the West player Mustafa. I mean, Measure-of-X was able to win the previous game as elves versus dwarves. Let's see if we can do that also as elves, but this time against Men of the West. Okay, I mean, double farm opening for the men, and on the other side we see 2 Malone trees opening for elves. And this map has also spider layers, by the way, which is something we don't see very often, and also white layers. So in almost every single map there is always like a warg layer or a troll layer. And spiders, and also white especially, is being quite rare, you know? They are only available in some certain maps. But wargs and trolls are kind of standard creeps, you know what I'm saying, out of the game. Do they play the legless version? No. I think the legless version is being only played by a few people, and not everyone has access to it yet. Hey Goku, welcome my friend. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, it's gonna be a stable opening after 2 Malone trees into the Lancers. And Chuf for the primers for 5 months, my dude. Thank you, Chuf. Chuf.
Chuaf just resubscribed for 5 months. Ahoy.
Thank you very much, good sir. Appreciate it. Okay, so we have a stable opening for both the players at the same time. I'm assuming in a one-on-one situation the Gondor Knights should be coming slightly ahead. But I'm also pretty certain that the Lancers of the Elven faction are a bit more faster and mobile than the Gondor Knights. So if they can get away, I don't think Gondor Knights can catch up to them. But we will find out. And it's gonna be a stable delete for elves, and it's not gonna be a might also be a stable delete for men, by the way. I mean, when you play with Cav in this game, your micro is very important. So in order to win the game, you need to kind of be good in microing your units and keeping them protected, especially if you go for the stable delete action, which the Elven player did. But the man player is not doing that. He's gonna go for one more. Okay, we're gonna have a 1v1 situation. I'm curious, actually. Looks like the Gondor player is not trying to fight this. Now he's gonna turn and fight. They're microing around, but the Elven player is kind of buying time and denying him from destroying the Malone tree. Oh yeah,
I will represent the men of Gondor.
Dude, the men knights are slaughtering them. Holy guacamole. What the heck? That's what I like to see. Crush the Elven noob. Crush him. Country Kevin, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. I mean, maybe he was using the aggressive stance, that's the reason, but all of a sudden they took hella damage. For Gondor indeed, my friends. I mean, he's trying to buy some time, but again, keep in mind that Measure-of-X went for a stable delete. That means if he loses the Lancer, he will have no cavalry on the field anytime soon. And in order to kind of regenerate them, he needs to build a well. That's very important. Okay, I mean, so far the man player is pretty much untouched. He's building, look at the fishes. Baby shark, baby. There is a farm, there is another farm, he's building offensively. I like that. The Malone tree is under attack, will be definitely taken down. Now you gotta bail. Now you gotta run for your life. and Balrog's archer range. And the stable got demolished, but he went for the 2 Gondor Knights and not 1. Alvin play needs to be careful. Don't lose them. They are very important. You need to build a well. Hey Max, welcome. With the fix, the double horse build is solid. Yeah, definitely. I think with the delay fix, the cavalry is gonna be much more impactful too. Because, you know, you can micro them obviously much better. I think that's gonna change a lot of things in the game. Like for example, I don't know, like the long shot won't, you know, you will have more chances to dodge stuff. For example, the long shot, the arrow volley, you can dodge more reliably, basically. And also, I believe some heroes you can micro with, or cavalry is gonna be much more reliable. Trolls could be nice too, like you can rush trolls at the beginning of the game with the mortar faction and goblin faction, most like the mortar faction because you can get it a bit faster. And you can micro with the troll quite nicely, you know, be annoying. Okay, well is coming up for the regeneration, no problemo. There is also well for the Elven faction. I mean, the regeneration speed is kind of meh, you know, you need to stand there for like a minute to regain your full strength. That's why you see most of the time people are building more than 1 well, like he does for example, because the healing effect is able to stack with each other. You can kind of make them regenerate their health twice as fast if you have like 2 of them at the same time on the field. Okay, I mean this shouldn't be too effective, only 1 pikeman and 1 Lorien warrior. You can even trample them, no problemo. Trampling from behind actually kind of opens like a flank damage potential. You see how much damage they took? So basically if the pikeman is not facing your units and you trample them from behind, there is a chance, and that's like a gamble situation, there is a chance that you go for the flank damage potential, which means you will almost take no damage with your horses and you almost one-shot the pikeman from trampling. I mean, there are some crazy stuff potential in BFME games, you know, like stuff you can't calculate. Okay, after the first couple of minutes into the game, we see the Man of the West player Mustafa being up to 550 command points in total. He has Rallying Call available for the next big push, which is going to be this push. Gondor Knights, pikemen and also archers in the behind. He's going to buff them now. And the army from the Elven player isn't ready to face against that. I think the Gondor Knights should ignore them completely and go for the harassment instead. There is 0 defense, and the amount of damage you can deal to them could be quite devastating. But again, the pikemen are not in the spots they should be. Like, I think that's the one thing you need to always pay attention about. You know, to when you have archers on the field, you need to make sure the pikeman is being close to them to protect them against enemy cavalry. That's the most important thing. But this push is gonna be quite damaging. You have also Irma on the field, the Horse Lord of Rohan, the double Balrog strategy. I mean, I believe the game was kind of doomed from the beginning of the game, you know, from the start. Basically, the cavalry opening for main ROTWK didn't do nearly as much as the stable opening for the man faction player Mustafa. But Glorfindel though, bullying them. Hardcore. Oh yeah. Dude.
Who lives in a cave under the sea? Gollum no pants. Crazy and yellow and precious is he? Gollum no pants. Whose precious nonsense be something you wish? Gollum no pants. So drop on the deck and flop like a fish. Gollum no pants. Ready kids? Gollum no pants. Gollum no pants. Gollum no pants. Gollum no pants.
Gollum. It's so funny the way she's pronouncing it. Who lives? What was the original thing? I always remember the German version because when I was watching this SpongeBob thing, I was like a kid and I was watching it in German. Oh, who lives under the sea? Blah blah blah. SpongeBob. I think that's the thing, you know. Like I think everybody, guys, let me know in the chat. I think every single one of us, right, watched at least 1 episode of SpongeBob, or at least knows who he is. You know, like Simpsons too. Like that's the classic. That's like the OG. You know what I'm saying? If you are older than 18, I think you know what Simpsons are too. You know what I'm saying? Boromir, the captain of Gondor. But creep it, man. Hello? Okay. Eowyn on the field. Eowyn also got buff this patch, by the way. She's kind of like a very interesting buff, to be honest with you. Like, they buffed the Disguise, which is a very useful and powerful ability. It's like busted already, and now it's even more busted. Camp situation, well, statue. Now we will have also tower guards and rangers, like the elite infantry from the Gondor faction. Tower guards, look how sexy they are looking like. Look at them, look at them. The defenders of the White City. You see the stars around them? They are shining bright like a diamond, dude. But what is the man player doing? He's kind of giving elves the chance to come back to the game. For absolutely no reason. The pressure ink, level 1, level 1. Level 2 now. Spear throw is available, use it maybe? Nah, he's gonna lose them. And that's the, yeah, that was the only battalion from the Lancers, so he lost them. And this push is going to be kind of hard to defend, I believe, right? Because there is Boromir with the new stun, new Horn of Gondor, which is gonna, you know, make them lose their leadership bonuses and also debuff them on top of that. There is lots of tower guards, which can also even burst down something like a Glorfindel, for example, but Glorfindel has Bleed of Purity. I want to see that. Okay, he's diving in, he want to get inside the jeans, but he gotta be careful. And he's running for his life now. He's running for his life. Beautiful trample, no pikeman in spot. I mean, it hurts my eyes that the players are making so obvious mistakes, you know, that they can't put the pikeman next to the archers. Retreat now, retreat. Boromir. Okay, Malon tree is gonna be definitely taken down, no problemo. Boromir became Mouth of Sauron. Boromir is much cooler than that, though. Look at him, look at him, look at him. Look, Boromir. He killed the elf. Uh-oh, the battle of the swordmen. Who is gonna be the better swordman? Glorfindel, definitely Glorfindel. Definitely Glorfindel. Oh, Boromir, he's running for his life. Heal is coming in clutch, but he's beating him. He's outsmarting him, 200 IQ. And Blade of Purity is on cooldown. Glorfindel has to be careful. He's not very tanky anymore when this ability is on cooldown, because this gives you like a 50% armor boost. The description is kind of misleading because I still didn't manage to reinstall my game. It kind of gives you the wrong information, but it's definitely 50%, not 100%. Okay, the farm is going to be taken down, but there is a huge force, including a tower with the ranges inside, which is going to be very hard for the Elven player to commit on. He's going for the Mirkwood strategy now, which is very good when it comes to win the fights. And Johnny Bratzi, thanks for the first time subbing with the Primus. Appreciate it. Really means a lot.
Welcome to Beyond Standards crew.
Thank you, my friend. Really means a lot. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. The Malon tree is gonna be found and taken down. It's gonna even put the Elven player farther behind. Like, he's gonna drop down to 450 command points after this one, which hurts a lot. The level 2 farm is gonna be also taken down, and he has even Grand Harvest, you know, for even more money. First time ever to use my Prime. Thank you, Johnny. Appreciate that. Really means a lot. Thank you, dudes. Thank you. Okay. Boromir moving from the bottom. BFME is good for the soul. Yeah, sure. And we lost Maru too. Like, Maru is like a copy-paste guy, you know what I'm saying? He's now imitating to be the BFME 2 players. He's talking exactly like them. Tower. I mean, if you play against Mage Shadowfax, I think what you can do, if you are kind of losing, you can kind of tilt him and, you know, kind of force him to make mistakes. And the easiest way of tilting him is building towers. Mage Shadowfax hates towers. He hates them. He's crying about them. He has nightmares about the battle towers in the game. Look at the siblings, dude. Look at them, look at them. Oh, Eowyn. Level 5. Has the Shield Maiden of Rohan available for insane boost of armor. Actually pretty solid. 65% armor is pretty good actually, you know. You get quite beefy with it. We have also Theoden on the field. All Rohan heroes in under one banner. And Glorfindel is gonna take them down, all of them. Actually, Alvin player is kind of able to defend himself, but the thing is, first of all, I don't think the Alvin Wood is good against men. It was good before in the previous version because it was giving you the fear resistance, which was countering the Boromir's Horn of Gondor, but that again is kind of useless now because the Horn of Gondor got reworked. It doesn't stun the enemy units anymore. So your fear resistant is absolutely useless against man faction. And it will also lead you to the End Summon, which is not bad, but I think the Eagles can be more useful in almost every single situation. And the Mist can also help you more to win the fights. Okay, Mirkwoods, but you need some sort of defense. They cost so much money, dude. Like, the problem is when you are this far behind, look at the command points, then it's very hard for you to recruit more and more of them. And you need more than only one battalion to win the fights. You need like 3-4 battalion with a couple of pikemen and you can slaughter them. But again, the siege will begin very soon with the trebuchet. And I don't think he will be in a good spot to defend this. I mean, he can send in Glorfindel, I guess, but, you know, there is Boromir. He will have 3 heroes, you know, and every one of them is gonna fight this dude. Okay, Boromir can fight him. Boromir shouldn't let him to take down this for no reason. Hold on, does he have rebuild? He can go for it though. Like, you see the damage output, he has even fire roll. Holy moly! The fire rolls are slaughtering him, dude. Through the Blade of Purity, that's kind of crazy, man. He's gonna debuff them now, but he's kind of in a bad spot. Boromir is running for his life. Glorfindel is also running for his life, and there was the only commitment chance. He has 17 power points in the bank. The Lone Tower is gonna be available for the second time very, very soon, and the Trebuchet is recruited. It means the siege in a bit will definitely begin, and we have 1000 command points available for Mustafa and only 450 command points available for Mace Shadowfax. I'm telling you one thing, I think in this version the man faction is kind of popping off. Like, I'm telling you, I think the man faction has solid and low-key the best win rate in the game. And I don't even know how, to be honest, because it was one of the worst factions in the patch 8.4. It got a couple of buffs in the patch 8.5 with the infantry buff. You know, the soldiers got a bit of a buff. For example, they could be recruited a bit faster. The barracks, I believe, was getting a bit cheaper too. But I don't think anything else was changed. And for that, all of a sudden, they start doing phenomenal and they start winning almost every single game. Tower and archers inside. Okay, I learned how to counter towers and spam towers. That's why I pick elves. GG. You see, I told you, it's easy to tilt Mace Shadowfax. All you gotta do is build some towers. That's it. Like let's assume they will release Rise of let's assume, just assume for a single second that they will eventually release the BFME Reforged. Do you think every single one of us is gonna move there? Do you think every single one of us will stop playing BFME 1 to BFME 2 and Rise of the Witch King completely and fully switch over to BFME Reforged? Do you think that's gonna happen? I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think so. You think so? I mean, then you don't know how the game is working, my friends, how the community is working. I don't think that's gonna happen. You know, I hope that's gonna happen, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Okay, 2 Malone trees, barracks into the 3rd Malone tree. On the other side, we see tunnel. It's an economical opening for the Goblin player, Mustafa. I mean, like, I don't know what everybody else says, but I think that's a tough matchup for the Goblin faction. I really do think that's a very tough matchup for the Goblin faction, you know? Like, for me personally, there are 3 hardcore, super hard matchups for Goblins. And one of them is being Elves, Mordor, and the last one is Ingmar. Those 3 matchups, they seem to be favoring the one faction so much. Goblin Cave into the 2nd Goblin Cave. Because, you know, it's hard for me to understand why is this the case, you know? It's very hard for me to understand that. But I think the major reason is the Goblin Archer battalion. In late game, the archers, they have a crazy amount of impact on the battles, you know? They can be the deciding factor. If you lose or win, they decide. And you having one single archer without any upgrade potential, kind of blows, you know? What is this? What? What is this? What? Okay, that's kind of random, dude. That's kind of random, man. Like, he said, tell him to not make towers. Then he's rushing legit a tower in the middle of the map. Legit. Build a statue behind that. Okay, very interesting move, but I think, you know, the Goblin player can actually ignore this completely. There is no reason for you to commit, and I think that's the mistake most people are doing. They are kind of being drawn like a magnet from the towers, and they have the feeling, oh, there is a tower, I have to take it down. But I don't think you have to take down every single tower. You can avoid to fight them. You know, like that's a dead unit and a dead building if you don't commit to that. There is no reason of committing. Half-throw pikeman creeping top left side, no problemo. He's gonna go for the half-throw swordman right after. Not going for the classical goblin spam. Going for more like a, you know, like an elite unit strategy. Again, swordman style goblins are very, very strong. They have also good poke damage with the spiderlings. And low-key, they have the best summons in the game. I think Goblin's spellbook is the best by far. You know, you can summon Wildman, you can summon spiders, you can summon Watcher. You have the dragon summon and the Balrog summon. Like, I don't think any faction can beat them. Maybe elves can. Elves have also really, really strong power points. You know, from the spellbook, Mist is very good, Eagle's very good. Okay. I mean, creeping, and ROTWK is kind of hoping that he will get attacked in the middle, which is not gonna happen. Any for Gondor spammers here? I hope not. What is this gameplay? What is this gameplay? I've never seen this. You wanna rush down the goblins? I mean, this can backfire pretty big time. Destroy it, okay? I mean, goblins are getting lots of money though. Like, lots of money. The goblins are dealt with, no problemo. The end mood is building up slowly but surely, and I think you wanna go for the siege very, very soon. Okay, he will capture this one, and you know what you can do? You can teleport this dude from with this tunnel to this location, and you can creep this one right after this one to get even more money. Multiple Malone trees, but every single one of them is unprotected, and he might lose all of them in a few seconds. I mean, now the question is going to be how much pressure this end mood is gonna create on the goblin player, and if this is gonna work out to get the W. I don't know. Like, I think you need at least 3-4 archers to protect that. Okay, he's defending now, that's good. And also this side will be defended, no problemo. And actually the Elven player is kind of getting not punished at all. Like, he has 600 command points available, that's kind of nutty. Like, the Goblin player wasn't able to destroy any building yet. But look, that's gonna be a big commitment. And the one archer and the two archers, they can't defend this. There is no wall. The half-throw swordmen, 3 of them, they can take down the tower in a few seconds. Dude, tower is really not a big problem, guys. Has only 1500 health. And you will see what I'm talking about. The second they will attack it, just watch for a few seconds. They will take it down in 3 seconds. Watch, when they attack it, the damage output is kinda nutty. The builder will be taken down right after. There are just too many units. The game is lagging a little bit. And the statue is kind of body blocking, but the statue is gonna be gone now, and they're gonna be fully committed on the tower. And the tower is not gonna make it out alive, trust me on that one. There is the Ent coming, and he's called Chestnut. What? Even the Ent names are differently. But the one half-throw pikeman can actually take down the Ent in a few seconds. They're also dealing great amount of damage to the Ent mood. The tower has been fully destroyed. The archers, they're gonna... Look, that's the thing. The uncontrollable fear. And that's annoying as hell. Like, stuff that you can't control. That's randomized, you know what I'm saying? It's kinda nutty. Painted land, Azog on the field. The best designed hero, look at this design. Lots of texturing and modeling action. The Ent is trying to run for his life. He's quite fast actually, and he might be able to get away. Yeah, he's called Chestnut. Chestnut Ent. Yeah, look at this. Look, chestnut, dude. I'm not joking. Look at him. Azog level 3, that's good, has the pillage. You get +5 for each kill on the Lorian archers, and now he's gonna run for his life. But he's fast enough to get away, no problemo. The end should be able to get in safety too. Nico Clone, thanks for the prime, thanks for the resub for 5 months, my dude. Thank you, appreciate it.
Nico_clone just resubscribed for 5 months. Ahoy! Congratulations on the success of your channel. I unfortunately need every penny I can get right now and can't stay subbed, but I'll stay watching.
Don't worry about it, man. Of course, you don't have to sub, guys. You being in the chat and watching the stream is already more than enough. Thank you for that. You know, you can, when you have like a Prime account, it's different story because then it doesn't cost you anything. But hey, don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about it. Like talking, being active in the chat and watching the streams, I'm already very grateful for that. Thank you. The build is gonna be taken on in the middle of the map, boys. And Elrond, a hero we see more and more often lately. Some Corsairs coming from the in top right side, and the Goblins are taking over the map. They are taking over the map entirely. Level 2 Malon 3 is gonna be taken down. That's gonna drop down the Elven player to 450 command points only. His command points capped now. He can't recruit any more units anytime soon. He has almost 10 power points in the bank, which will be eventually invested into the why Elvenwood? Why Elvenwood? That's a risky move in my opinion. Because Elvenwood is a 10 power point summon. Again, the additional effect does do nothing for you. The fear resistant matters nothing in this matchup. I mean, it matters eventually against something like a Shelob later on, but it's not a problem right now. And you need to invest 10 power points for that, which the Goblin player can cover later on with his own 5 power point from the spellbook. The Tainted Land can cover and replace the Elvenwood. So I don't think it's a good choice. You know? Hey, Balindro is back in the business. And Luri, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Should be defended, no problemo. I'm actually curious about the Elrond performance. I think Elrond will get smashed though. I think Azo can kill him in a second with the Great Battle Rage. You know? 575 command points versus 975. That's huge differential in the command points department, and the pressure will now begin. Very snowballing matchup. And, you know, the problem is he was kind of tunnel vision focusing in the middle area with the Ensmoot Tower. And when this kind of goes down, you lose your momentum, which can hurt. We have also Gorkill the Goblin King. Okay. Gorkill. I mean, also very underrated hero in my opinion, right? Because he can, you know, give you fear resistant with level 1. The Skull Totem can also replace the Tainted Land and give you like a buff. In addition to that, with level 4, you get leadership unlocked, and with level 10, you can summon Fire Drakes, which are busted. Okay. Half-Troll Swordmen are being chased. One of them is going to be able to survive. Maybe Banner can be quite good and useful. 2 tunnels next to each other, but Elrond is going to be able to take them down. I mean, Farsight, I don't think it's very strong ability, you know. Farsight is very It's not horrible, but it's similar to the Disguise from Eowyn, you know. I think it competes with the Disguise from Eowyn. It's almost as bad. Okay, hold on. Oh, you should have let this dude get the last hit. Okay, it's not a big deal though. The Whirlwind can be actually quite nice, you know? Level 2, level 5. Okay. Level 1, and everything is level 1. He has only tier 1 units for now. And no Cave Trolls anytime soon, no Fire Drakes anytime soon, no upgrades anytime soon. But I'm actually wondering why he's so poor. Like, I think he should be much more wealthy than he already is. Because he has Scavenger and he has 1000 command points in the bank. You know, he has a level 2 tunnel here, level 2 tunnel here, another one here. So I'm actually curious why he has no money. He's diving in. He has also Atelas, by the way, for regeneration, no problemo. He has leadership too, which the Goblin faction doesn't negate because he never went for the Cave Bats. And again, Cave Bats got nerfed too. Like, you can't shut down leadership effects anymore. So it makes a little bit less sense now for you to get there. You know, you can kind of skip that and go for the 10 power point like he did. 8 power points in the bank. Azok and Gorkil the Goblin King are pressuring the Lumber Mill. The Malon Tree, I mean. Level 2. Level 3 is gonna be a good power spike too, because he can get mounted on a Scorpion. Maybe Eagle could be nice. Because as we are talking, there is literally nothing that can deal with the Eagle. So you're going for the Eagle nest, and recruiting the Giant Eagle can be quite good, you know? Oh my goodness, Ossiafna in the chat. Ossiafna, I've not seen you for a long time, my friend. Glad to see you back. Drogov coming, maybe? I don't think so. I don't think he had 5,000 in the bank, but maybe I'm wrong. We will find out. Okay, level 2 tunnel might be taken down, will be taken down by the Lancers. That's pretty good. 10 power points in the bank, which can be, if he wants to invest it into the, into the Weapon of Dunland, for example, or into the Spider Allies. We will find out what's gonna be his choice. He can also skip that and go for the 15 right off the bat. Azok is going to be like a problematic hero. Great Battle Rage makes him to one of the best 1v1 heroes in the game. The 40% armor you get from it is kind of big. He can cover this, right? Yeah, he can cover this. He will cover this, okay? Like, the thing is, Alvin Wood has, in compared to the Tainted Land, way less cooldown. And the Alvin player has now 15 power points, which will be invested into the End Summon. So with this End, he will have 3 Ends in total. And that's gonna cause pressure. Azok is on Rampage, you know? He's popping off, level 6. You know, this dude was able to get away barely. And also the Goblins have now double buff. With the... See, what is this name again? I forgot. Gorkil the Goblin King mean level 4. The End Summon will be used offensively. I think you shouldn't go for the Fortress, because the Fortress has the armor upgrade, as you can see. You should be trying to kill the level 3 tunnels. It's gonna be much more important. He destroyed one of them. There is another one behind, and there is one next to them. The Ents are kind of slaughtering them and knocking them on the ground, and that's minus 200 command points. It's pretty good. Like, you don't have... What's happening here, by the way? As they are slamming down the tunnel, they're also slamming down the units. There comes a Skull Totem, which kind of is misleading, you know, visual-wise. It gives you only like a tiny area, but it actually affects much larger area, like this, for example, right? It's much more impactful than it actually shows. But Elves are kind of getting back into the game, and the Goblins will drop down to 925 command points now from 1000. He has 15 power points in the bank, and he has 2000 plus resources collected, but as you can see, he has not many units up on the field. That's the problem. Glorfindel is level almost 3, Elrond is gonna give him also restoration, so basically that would mean that this guy can use Blade of Purity, and the second it's going on cooldown, this guy can use the restoration, and this guy can use the Blade of Purity again. And that's, like, when you think about the late game potential of the Elven heroes, the amount of stuff they can get done is kinda crazy when you think about that. Alone, Elrond can reset every one special ability timer. So basically, it can even reset the, I think, the ability from this fortress. Like, it can reset everything, I believe, right? It's kinda crazy. I'm actually curious if it also can reset the ability from, for example, Galadriel. Because Galadriel can use the Whirlwind, right? The Tornado. And imagine if this works also on Galadriel's Tornado. Because she can use it, and you use this one, so she will have 2 tornadoes simultaneously. You know, wiping out the entire army. Is leadership system changed? Yes. They nerfed leadership, and they also nerfed the buff and debuff. So everything's got nerfed. So it's now more about unit spam than it is about quality, you know? Like, every time you nerf leadership and buff, it kinda makes the spam more powerful, and the quality and leadership and war chant a bit less impactful. Yeah, 2 Elrons can actually do that. True. Okay, he went for darkness, by the way, which is very interesting. The Elven player can actually not do anything about that. I think he doesn't need to do anything about that, because at this point it's just not wise to go for 15 power point. Just go for the 25 if you can, you know? It's a huge Elven force, Spider Riders, you know. They are shooting, but they are not the best archers in the game. Alvin Wood is gonna be available way sooner, as you can see. Way sooner, actually. Like a minute sooner than they did the land. There comes the big push. The problem is Izok is kind of slaughtering Glorfindel. Dude, I'm telling you, Izok is so strong. Not even kidding. He's so incredibly strong. There comes the whirlwind from Elrond. But actually, Elrond is popping off. What? Elrond, Agent Smith. Hello, Mr. Anderson. Oh boy. The whirlwind, can it also knock down the heroes? That's the thing I wanna know. You know? Unlimited power. Palpatine. And then he died. He died afterwards. He got saved. Samuel L. Jackson was about to kill him. Okay. I mean, here's the one ring. And we know these games are actually ending in Fiesta. So I believe if the Elven player doesn't end him anytime soon, he will actually recruit Sauron. I think that's gonna happen in this game, dude. There is a high chance, actually, that we will see Sauron. He went for the Cloud Break. And can you go for the Watcher? I'm not sure. I don't think you can go for the Watcher. Like, where is the God Kill the Goblin King and the Skull Totem when we need it? Because Skull Totem gives you also Fear Resistance, which can hard counter the Cloud Break. The army is getting kind of slaughtered, but I believe the Elven player doesn't have too many units to continue fighting anyway. They need to eventually bail and retreat. This dude is level 4. And, you know, like, also great synergy here between Elrond and Haldir, because this guy has no trouble leveling up, right? In long terms, he will easily reach level 8. And then he will have the Golden Arrow for the stun. And the thing is, you can use Golden Arrow, stun them, and then you can use Restoration, and you can use Golden Arrow again. You can perma-crowd control them. That's why Fear Resistant effect in this matchup can be actually super useful, you know? Okay, the peasants are coming from the bottom left side in. 18 power points in the bank. You want to go for the 25 right off the bat, but he needs still, you know, round about 7 power points for that. And without too many units on the field, it's going to be kind of hard. He's going for Fire Arrows action. I believe he's going to give them to the Spider Riders to deal with the Ents. The Ents are very vulnerable against Fire Arrow, so they will burn and take damage over time, and they will also receive much more damage from the shots. Trampling down the peasants, no problemo. There are no pikemen nearby. 19 power points in the bank. But he's kind of poor. He's kind of really poor, actually. You need 200 for the Fire Arrow upgrade on the Spider Riders, and he can't afford that. The thing is, the Scavenger is such a good ability in long terms. It will make you grow rich, slowly but surely. The longer the game goes on, the more value you will get from it. Unfortunately, there is not like an end game statistics which can give you the information about how much money you gathered from the Scavenger after you picked it until the end of the game, you know? Could be really nice and helpful information to understand if it's worth it or not. You want to go for the 25, and the elves are also getting really close to 25. He needs to deal with this Ent. This Ent is slowly but surely taking down literally everything from the Goblin player. He went for the Fire Arrows, but you need to shoot this Ent. That's the target you want to aim at, you know? 23 power points in the bank. He will have Darkness very soon. Darkness plus Warchan is able to stack. Okay, great Battle Rage against Blade of Purity. But he's cheating. He has Atelas and heal from the Spellbook. Azog is running for his life. Elrond is quite fast. Trample is incoming. Tainted Land has been used, but can be covered by the Elven Wood if you wanted to. We have Balrog special summon available now. The question is, will he summon it defensively or offensively? He should be definitely summoning it offensively, in my opinion. Because look at the layout. Like the Balrog here on the spot, breath firing this will kill the Steeple and the 2 barracks, including the level 3 Malone tree. It can actually hurt the Elven player quite a lot. But he's gonna summon it for no reason defensively! I don't think that was needed, my dude. I don't think that was needed. You had this. You had this. Now you are wasting time. Just fly over. Just fly over. What? What is the briefing at? Oh. Glorfindel is being sent to the next map, you know? The problem is the Elven player has almost 25 power points in the bank, and he will go for the flat very soon. and which might give you the edge and finish the game. There comes the level 6 and Flood is available now. The Flood can also be used to deal with Balrog, by the way. The Flood nearly one-shots him from 100 to 0. If you aim correctly, if you can land every single horse on the Balrog, he will die. I mean, the Wings ability has like a cooldown in this game too, which for example isn't the same thing in BFME 1. In BFME 1 you can fly all the time. And it's kind of like a really bad thing for the Balrog too, in my opinion. Because think about the Summon Dragon. You can reposition him in the entire map, right? You can reposition from one location to the other location in a single second. But this guy is not nearly as mobile. Okay, he will eventually Breath Fire here one time, but you need to use Ignite before that.
I will represent the men of Gondor.
Sign, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. They are burning. Yeah, he's gonna burn, that's good. Elven player is dropping down to 850 command points, but he has End Summon available and the Cloudbreak and the Flood available. And he's still pressuring. Elrond, he's gonna use the Whirlwind to keep those Spider Riders in check. And the fortress has increased armor because you can see the webs around it for more durability, but I don't think it's immortal. It's not indestructible. You can definitely take it down with your heroes and Ents and Flood. Yeah, he's gonna commit now fully. Look the damage from this dude too. He's actually chunking it big time. There comes the Floods and the Ents. The full commitment, the rise of the power points. Power points in this game are so impactful. And the melee damage and the range damage is pretty much the same, but obviously you are attacking way faster in melee form than you are attacking in the range form, especially for the Ents. And the fortress has been taken down through the armor in a few seconds, and Mustafa, without saying a word, will leave the game and the goblins are defeated and elves are victorious. So we have the red Angmar player Mustafa versus the blue elven player ROTWK. ROTWK actually spams the elven faction now in this today, especially. You want to play elves exclusively. And we got multiple different matchups. We got elves against men, which was won by the men faction. We got elves against goblins, won by elves. And I believe the first game was elves versus dwarves, which was also won by elves. So we have seen 4 different matchups between elves and 4 different factions. But now we have Angmar, and Angmar is a very solid faction. And also one of the few factions that can meet and match the strength of the Elven faction's army in the mid to late game. Like your Felwind longshot combination is going to be even more powerful now. Because remember that you could only survive before when you had the War Chant or Rallying Call with a leadership. So you had to get double buff to be able to survive the longshot burst. But now since the buff and leadership got nerfed, I believe that kinda automatically buffed the longshot Felwind combination. Because now you have less chances of surviving that burst. You know what I'm saying? And we might be able to see that demonstration in this game. You wanna get good with Elven faction, that's what he told me. That's the reason I'm busy hands. 3 Malon trees into the barracks, into the Lorien Arch opening. And on the other side we see Mill, Hall of the Kingsmen into the Pikemen. And the Gollum is having a conversation with the Wargs, you know, chilling out with them, protecting the Warg layer. Gollum can be killed quite easily in this game, you know, no problemo. He has only 200 health, you can one-shot him. We have our orders. Be careful about the Trollmaster. 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 Oh, if you lose him, you will lose your full battalion, you know. I've seen this too many times, you know. That's kind of like, when this happened to me, when this would happen to me, I would literally rage quit the game. Imagine in a tournament game, in the grand finals, you play Angmar, you are trying to creep and you lose your battalion to the Warg layer. I would rage quit instantly. Okay, Archer into the Pikeman opening, so he's gonna creep this one pretty much defensively, and that's more like an offensive creeping action. Because as you can see in both sides, there is a Warg layer close to the fortress. You see? So creeping this is of course way easier and way less risky in terms of in compared to creeping this layer. Okay, the Gundabad orcs are leading forward with the pikemen, but they will be running into the Lorien archers, and I think they're gonna be shot in the face before they can reach out any of these lumber mills or Malon. Dude, I keep saying lumber mills all the time to the Malone trees for no reason. Okay, he's creeping also this one. Again, be careful about your Tram Master. It's the most important unit in your battalion. Okay, but the creep should be quite easy now, no problemo. And the Wolf Riders are coming though. Like, for me personally, I think Angmar is overall, for me, the most solid faction. The only difficulty or the only downside of the Angmar faction, in my opinion, is the lack of money. So you need Waldor to get pillage, to make money. That's the only thing. But, you know, you can get easily Wolf Riders on the field. You have like the fastest transition possibility. You need these 2 buildings to literally recruit every unit you need. And, you know, you can even skip that, and this building all alone gives you legit every single unit you would need for the entire game to win the game. You have the Elite Swordman, you have the 1 unit into 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4 potential. Then you have the best archers, and you have even the chance to buy banner from 1 single building all alone. You know, that's kind of crazy.
I will represent the men of Gondor.
Balrog, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. Okay, he's gonna go for the harassment. And also the wolf packs are one of the best counters to the pikemen. They are also very unique because they are very mobile. They are like literally like a horse who can one-shot pikemen. Doesn't matter if they are pikemen from the Elven faction or even if they are tower guards from the men faction, they still get one-shotted. Look this, in the porcupine formation, which normally means increased durability, nothing can hurt them that much. No swordman can do that. They are getting two-shotted, they are getting bitten alive pretty much, you know. That's kind of crazy countering. Without the porcupine formation they would get one-shotted. Even in the porcupine formation, which means increased durability, they still get one-shotted, you know, two-shotted. Angmar is doing a phenomenal job, but later on you need to find the transition. Yes, that's the thing, you need to kind of, you know, find the perfect timing in order to get to the second age. And the second age is gonna be the era of the Dark Rangers. And you know, that's the thing about the Angmar faction, because for example, think about the men faction. They have also rangers, they have also longshot, but you need to get your rangers to level 2 first, in both cases. But in the Angmar case, you can buy the banner from the same building in which you recruit them. So basically you invest 400 to get a massive power spike on your rangers. You get level 2 instantly and have access to the longshot, which can't be missed if you can time it with your Felwind. So if you can time it in a good spot, in a good way, there is no fight you will ever lose in any matchup, pretty much. Haldir is being recruited, he's getting chunked. Elves are kind of expanding, he's gonna be able to creep this, no problemo. He was also able to creep the trolley at the bottom left side. That means we have actually on the map Jungles of Fararat 0 creeps left now. Everything is gone, and Haldir was able to survive. So level 5 Haldir is going to be quite useful. We have Felwind and Warchan combination, 500 command points available. Level 2 mil, 525 now. And he's going for the Black Numenorians. He's not going for the level 3 building yet. He's going for the Black Numenorians instead. Black Numenorians are also not bad. I think they got buffed this patch, if I'm not mistaken. They cost now more money. They used to cost only 400, but they cost now 500. With that, they are officially the most expensive swordman in the entire game. There is not a swordman that costs nearly as much. The second, you know, expensive one is going to be 400, the Urukai and the After All Swordman. But they also got changed. So basically, they have now the Death Mask with level 2 available. So they can debuff the enemy units, which makes them to the best swordman in the game in a one-on-one situation. When they are level 2, they will win every single time, because they will have also charge attack in addition to this debuff. So they make the enemy units weaker, they can make themselves stronger. It's a very, you know, sick combo. Big pushes incoming, you shouldn't underestimate them. And he has not too many archers on the field. Rallying Call and Warchan, they are both buffed. Felwind can be used, you know. There comes the Felwind, yeah. Which, you know, look, it's buying additional time. And in the meantime, before they can stand up again and fight, your extrovers keep dealing permanent damage all the time. Haldir is being surrounded by the Black Numenorians. He needs to disengage. You can't underestimate their damage output. They are only level 1. But again, the same situation also for the Black Numenorians, because with the level 2 you can also make them way stronger. The problem is the spot of fighting. So basically in this spot, the Elven player will be able to get more and more units on the field all the time. And he has double barracks, you know, he will reinforce this army 24/7. And in long terms, you can't win the fight. There is a squad and there is a squad. So he's trying to surround and try to deal economical damage. Aldir being next to the archers to get a bit more experience. And the fight now should be won by the Elven player. But you need rangers, dark rangers. You need to invest 500 now for the Hall of the Kingsman level 3. The mill will be freeze now by the Snowbind to save the day. It's a level 2 building, very important building. But there is another one being destroyed. ROTWK actually playing a good game in this one, because he's defending and also... Oh, what? That's a very early eagle. What the heck? How? Is he that rich? I think so. Yeah, I think so. He's very rich actually. He has Haldir on the field, has lots of units, and was even able to get the eagle. The giant eagle. It's kind of crazy. The level 2 mill is going to be taken down. It's minus 75 command points in the bank. Again, the Black Numenorians, they are good, but I believe that's one of the situations in which they are not very reliable. Because I believe in this situation the half-troll swordmen are a bit better, because they seem to be a bit tankier against arrows than the Black Numenorians. Look how much damage they receive from the Lorien archers, you know what I'm saying? They take so much damage. The eagle is, you have no counter to that. The extroverts, they can't take him down fast enough. And yeah, I think it was a mistake, you know, the Black Numenorians was a mistake. Ah, the elves, I remember how strong they were. Yeah, and that's the funny thing about the Jaco, you know. Even though they got nerfed plenty of times, I believe there was not a single version of the patch 2.02 since version 7 in which they didn't get nerfed. Like they got nerfed so many times. Mirkwoods got nerfed, their range got nerfed, the Mifflons got nerfed, they can't get invisible anymore, Glorfindel got like 10 nerfs. Like, I don't know, so many nerfs. Mist got nerfed around the fortress, but they still come out ahead. Every single time they manage to get the victory